Hey, in this part we are going to learn about arrays in C++. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable, and they are very important for problem solving and data handling. So let's start from the basics. An array is a collection of elements of the same data type stored in a continuous memory locations. Instead of creating many variables, we use an array. Okay, so let us try to see an example without array. Okay, so we can create many variables like this. So here we can create many variables like this: abcd, int abcd, like that. Okay, so here we have initialized many variables at once. Okay, and these ones are not called arrays. These are just variables, independent variables. Okay, so let us see how we can create an array. So an array, we create it like this. So here we give it the name. So this one is the data type. Okay, the data type. From the data type, then we provide the name, the array name. This is the array name, number, and from there we can provide the size. So inside here we can provide the size, and this size is in form of integers. Okay, so we can provide 5, 6, 7, like that. Okay, so as long as it's an integer. Okay, so from there we can just initialize it like that. We add a semicolon. Okay, so here we have initialized our variable. We have not initialized. Okay, so here we have just declared an array. Okay, because we have not initialized it, we have not given values to it. Okay, so from there we can now come down here, and then we try to get our to store some values. Okay, some values in our number array. Okay, so from there we can now start storing some numbers. Like we can store 10, we can store 20, we can store 30, like that. Okay, so from there, here we have a number. Let me see. Expression must be modified a value in 7. So here for loop. So here we have, so let us make this one to have 3. So when we set it to have 3, and here we give it this one, give it this one. So let us try to see how we can initialize an array. Okay, so I showed you how you can declare an array. So we declare it like this. Okay, so we write the data type, then the name of the array, and inside here, inside the square brackets, we provide the size. Okay, which is in form of an integer. Okay, int, as you can see, is form of an integer. So let us see how we can initialize an array. Let us try to take a look at the first method. We can initialize an array at declaration. Okay, so let us try it. So here, when we try to declare our array, we can just provide the values. Okay, right away, like that. We can now provide 10, 0, we can provide 1, 2, we can provide 4, we can provide 6, 7, 8, like that. Okay, but these ones, as you can see, they exceed the size, okay, that we set. So we can just reduce them like that. Okay, we can just reduce them. Okay, so we can also declare our array without the size. Okay, so if we don't provide the size there, we can provide as many elements as we want. Okay, as you can see, as many elements as we want, we can provide them. Okay, so here we have a duplicate, so we can add there 11, like that. Okay, so let us now see, you should note that the size is automatically determined by the compiler. Okay, so let us see how we can access array elements. Okay, so array indexing starts from 0. Okay, so let us try to see. So this one is in position 0, 2 is in position 1, 4 is in position 2, 9 is in position 3, as you see, like that. Okay, so let us try to access 2. Okay, because 2 is in position, is at index 1, we can access it like this. So we use the console out, then our number, name of the variable, then square brackets. Inside the square brackets, we can provide the index, okay, or the position of the value that we want to access. And if we try to compile, don't forget to save, and we try to compile. When we try to compile and run our program, we are going to get 2. Okay, so let's wait. As you can see, we have got a 2. Okay, so this is going to print out the second element. Okay, so let us see how we can modify array elements. So we can modify them like this. We can say number, then we use the index. So we want to modify 2, and we want to change it to be, let's change it to be 100, like that. And from there we can now use can console out number, and then we want to see what is in position 1. Okay, is at index 1. Okay, so let us try to compile. After compiling, let us try to save. Okay, so let us try to save. After we run our program, as you can see, we now have 100 at index 2. Okay, at index 1. Okay, so let us try to see how we can take array input from the user. We can take array input from the user using a for loop. Okay, so let us initialize our array right here, our array, and let us give it a size of 5. So we need 5 arrays, we need 5 elements in this array. From there we can now use a for loop. Then inside here we are going to take an int. So this one is going to be, we are initializing an integer, so let us first set it to be equals to 0. From there let us give it I is going to be less than or equals to what, or equals to 5, less than 5. Okay, not equals to 5, because it's going to generate 5 loops. Okay, 6 loops. Okay, so for this one, if we use less than only without the equal to, it's going to generate 5 loops. Okay, 5 loops, and we need 5 elements. Okay, so which is perfect for us. From there, what are we going to do? We are going to do for every input, for every loop, what are we going to do? We are going to get the user input, and we are going to store it in our array position I. Okay, the position I. From there, let us try to run, and we see what we are going to get. So we should remember that this one accepts integers. Okay, it accepts integers. So what we are going to do, let us, after compiling, let us try to run. So the first, we are going to get 5, press enter, 6, press enter, 7, press enter, 8, press enter, 9, press enter. As you can see, we are done. Okay, but we have not outputted our array. Okay, so let us try to output it. See out, can we output all our array like that? Can we do it? As you can see, we cannot do it, but we can loop through our array. So what we can do after getting all the arrays, what we can do is we can use a for loop to loop through all our array. So this one, we are going to initialize our I, and let us set it to be equals to 0, and it's going to be less than or equals to 5 again, and we are going to be incrementing it. So from there, we are going to use cout, console out, and we are going to console out it. We can also write this piece of code inside the other for loop, but I just want to make this one but let me just write it inside here. Let us try to see out. Okay, let us try to console out array at a certain element, which is I. Okay, so this one, let me remove these ones. Okay, so let us try to save. After saving, let us try to compile. After compiling, let us try to run, and when we run, let us put 5. So if we provide 5, press enter, we get the 5. Provide 6, press enter, get 6, 7, like that, 8, 9, like that. So this one doesn't give us all the values. Okay, but what I want is, I want to get all of these ones. Let me get this code, this piece of code, and I try to do what I was doing previously. So 4, then here int is 0, then let us set it I is less than 5, and inside here let us loop. Okay, then here we are going to create our, let's create our string, and let us initialize to be values, and let us set it to be empty, like that. Okay, so if it is empty, what we are going to do is we are going to get even if we remove this block of code, I don't want to make to make it so big. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to do for every iteration after getting the user input, after getting our element and we store it in our array, what we are going to do, we are going to have our values, and we are going to set it to be equals to the previous value, the previous values, and then we are going to add a comma. Okay, a comma. After adding a comma, we are going to add our array element. Okay, I. Okay, our array element I. Okay, so after doing that, but you should note that this one is an integer. Okay, it's an integer, not a string. Okay, dot. So here we can use dot. Can we use dot to string? Can we convert it to string? Okay, can we convert it to string? Okay, can we do it? Let us create here a string. Let's set it to be equals to value, and let us get this one. Let us Control X, and let us put it there. From there, let us put our value there. Okay, so from there we need to change this one. Okay, we need to change this one to a string. Okay, to string. Okay, so let me come here using use hashtag, use the preprocessor directive, and let me include the string library, and let me use hashtag to include the stdlib library. Okay, stdlib, like that, standard library, like that, which is a C library.h. Okay, so here we need to add .h, that one. Okay, so from there let me come down here, and can I convert it to string? To string, it's possible. To string, can I get access to this one? To string, and here I can provide an integer. Okay, and this integer is here array, and then want to access array at I. Okay, like that. Okay, so we have converted it to string. Okay, so we can now concatenate it on our previous value. Okay, so if we try to save and we try to compile, let's try to compile. When we try to compile, let us try to run. Okay, so when we try to run, let us insert 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, enter 5, enter 6. Okay, so but we have not outputted our value. Okay, so after that, what we are going to do outside this for loop, we are going to output our string, which is the values. Okay, that one there. So let us save, and after saving, let us try to add our end line here before printing our value. Let us move the cursor to the next line before printing our values. Okay, so that we don't make our line mess. So let us wait, and we try to compile. So after compiling, let us run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, as you can see, we have got comma, there is this comma. As you can see, there is this comma. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As you can see, it's in form of a string. Okay, but we have got the output. As you can see, we have got the output. Okay, so yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. Okay, so we have seen how we can modify array elements. We have seen how we can print array elements. Okay, we have seen how we can find let's try to see how we can find the size of an array. Okay, so we can come down here. Let me try to remove this for loop, and let us try to use this number. Okay, so for the number, let us come down here, and let us create a variable called size. Let me remove all this piece of code. Let me try to create here a variable called size of type int, and let me get the size of. So here I can use this function size of our number, which is our array. Okay, our array, and then we can divide by the size of the size of the size of array, and the size of array is 0. Okay, array 0, the first one. Okay, the first one. But we can just remove this one. Let's try to get the size of this one. Okay, and we try to output the size. Okay, so let's wait, let's try to compile. After compiling, let's try to run. Okay, so here we are going to get a default value. So here, as you can see, we get 24. We get 24 because these ones are 6 elements. Okay, they are 6 elements, and every element contains 4 bytes. Okay, it contains 4 bytes. So 4 times 6, we shall get 24. Okay, so if we want to get the size of all elements, okay, the number of all elements, we should divide by 4. Okay, 4 bytes, we should divide by 4. Okay, because this one is going to return the size, okay, in bytes. Okay, in bytes. So it's going to get the 4 bytes for each element and multiply it by 6 to give us 24. Okay, so what we are going to do here, we just divide by the size of each element, of one element, size of, then we get the number, our number array, and then we get the size of the first element. Okay, so the first element is an integer. Okay, this one is an integer. So we can do like this. We can try to compile, and we try to run. When we try to run, we shall get have we saved? Yeah, as you can see, we get 6. Okay, so that is the number of elements. Okay, so we can also get the sum of an array using a for loop. Try to use it. We can also search an array. Okay, search in an array to find something, to find the value that we are looking for. Okay, so we can we try to use strings? Most of you might get confused that this one is using only integers. Okay, are these arrays only applicable to integers? No, it's not applicable to integers. Okay, so here we can use a name, Omar, we can use Rashid. We can also change, and we use characters. Okay, so we can change this one to be names like that. Okay, we can also change this one to have grades. Let's have grades, and let us have these ones as char for characters, char, and let us change this one because these ones are characters. Let us change, and we use n, or no, let us use a for grade A, and let us use these ones for grade, let us use B for grade B, like that. Can we use double quotes, and then we can use C, like that. Okay, can we use it? Yeah, it has been possible. As you can see, it's possible to use double quotes. Okay, so we can now get the grades. Okay, so we can now get the grades. So if I try to get our grades, and let us try to access, can we do that? Let's see if we can get our grades. Try to compile. Let's try to compile. As you can see, we get an error. Okay, so this one, the error that we get, let's try to inspect this error. So int main invalid conversion from constant char to char. Okay, from this one. So let us change this one to be of a single quote. Let's use to be inside a single quote, like that. If we try to save and we try to compile, when we try to compile this one, it's not going to generate an error. Okay, so for characters, you should use a single quote. Okay, so if you try to save and we compile and run our program, we get this like gibberish. These they are called I'll say the code, the character, I've forgotten. Okay, I forgot how they are called. Okay, I forgot. But we can, if we want to get all those values, we can just let's access a single character. So for example, let us access A. Can we access A? So here it's grades. So let us access grade A, which is in position 1, and we try to run our program. When we try running our program, we are going to get A. As you can see, we have got A. Okay, so which is nice, which is nice, which is nice. Okay, so let us now try to take a look at yeah, it's over. Okay, so you have seen how we can work with arrays. Okay, we can also convert to strings. Okay, you can combine all your knowledge you know about for loops, switch statements. Okay, all your knowledge you know. Okay, strings, characters, data types, all your knowledge, operators, all your knowledge about C++, and enjoy arrays. Okay, try to enjoy arrays.